Here we go with our last topic here on the stage of World Conservation Forum. How can technologies, stay? How can technologies that develop awareness support our relationship with nature? Our presenter will be Team Flow coach in flesh called Ádám Vitályos. Enjoy the next 30 minutes.
Good afternoon. My name is Ádám Vitályos. I'm a law student from the University of Miskolc and also work as a Team Flow coach at Inoria Limited. In my presentation, I want to talk about one question. How can technologies that develop awareness support our relationship with nature? Nature plays a huge part in our life. From the moment we started to roam on the face of Earth, nature was there for us. But as we started to advance, the relationship between humans and nature weakened. But how can we strengthen our bond with nature? The answer is awareness. Awareness helps us understand what should or shouldn't do while we try to renew our relationship with nature. Because we are at the World Hunting and Nature exhibition, I think it's appropriate to talk about awareness in that aspect. Hunting was part of our lives since the very beginning. It provided food for us, it meant life for us. But hunting nowadays is much more important. Hunting is essential to the ecosystem because it helps nature to keep its balance. Hunters consciously choose when to hunt, when they need to hunt, so they can stop the overpopulation of animals, which has a positive effect on the ecosystem. Unfortunately, there are people who upset this balance. These people are called poachers. Poaching is a huge global problem because poachers don't think about balance or ethics. They only think about money. In countries like Kenya, where hunting was poorly regulated, poachers took over, and they threatened the survival of elephants and rhinos in the country. Nowadays, poachers use poison instead of guns and create new ways to kill animals. Because they constantly renew their methods, authorities can get rid of them. That's why people need to develop awareness to realize the influence of their actions on the environment. So how can you develop awareness individually and collectively? That's where technology comes into play. We at Inoria Limited created the Team Flow system to give a tool to the people so they can explore themselves and others in a new way. The Team Flow software is a training system for cognitive abilities based on the processing of electrical signals from the brain. Real-time reflection of brain activity, which we call biofeedback, allows the user to recognize their states of consciousness under any circumstances and learn when and how to control their own mental attitudes in a coherent manner with maximum efficiency. Brainwaves are measured with an instrument called EEG, an electroencephalograph. The signals are processed by the computer at a frequency and converted to audiovisual signals displayed on a monitor, thereby allowing the user to gain an extra sense of their own consciousness and track changes in their brain activity accurately in real time. By doing this, you can learn to control your states of consciousness. I will talk about the role of cognition and awareness in our everyday life to better understand the Team Flow system. So first, I want to talk about cognition. Cognition makes man human. Cognitive processes affect every aspect of life, from school to work to relationships. It encompasses many aspects of intellectual functions and processes such as perception, attention, the formation of knowledge, memory and working memory, judgment and evaluation, reasoning and computation, problem solving and decision making, comprehension and production of language. The study of how we think dates back to the ancient Greek philosophers, Plato and Aristotle. Plato's approach to the study of the mind suggests that people understand the world by first identifying basic principles buried deep inside themselves and then using rational thoughts to create knowledge. The viewpoint was later advocated by philosophers such as René Descartes, who created the famous phrase cogito ergo sum, and linguist Noam Chomsky. This approach to cognition is often referred to as rationalism. Aristotle, on the other hand, believed that people acquire their knowledge through their observations of the world around them. Thomas Aquinas embraced several ideas put forward by Aristotle and attempted to synthesize Aristotelian philosophy with the principles of Christianity and even influenced Walter Friedman, neuroscientist. Thinkers including John Locke and B.F. Skinner also advocated Aristotle's point of view, which is often referred to as empiricism. Cognitive processes are influenced by a range of factors, including genetics and experiences. While we cannot change your genetics yet, there are things that you can do to protect and maximize your cognitive abilities. For example, stay healthy. Lifestyle factors such as eating healthy and getting regular exercise can have an effect on your cognitive functioning. Think critically. Question your assumptions and ask questions about your thoughts, beliefs, and conclusions. Stay curious and keep learning. One great way to flex your cognitive abilities is to keep challenging yourself to learn more about the world and yourself. You should forget multitasking. While it might seem like doing several things at once would help you get done faster, but research has shown it actually decreases both productivity and work quality. Based on that, maximizing your cognitive abilities also increases your awareness because you can consciously perceive more of the world. What is the essence of consciousness and cooperation with our fellow human beings and with nature in everyday life? Take an example. A person who is underdeveloped in terms of consciousness or self-reflection handles an information that poses an external risk during his or her maintenance, work, behavior, or desired sporting activity. In the situation, the performance, the final outcome of the case will be in the defensive mode. If he, she conflict, make bad decisions, spoil constructive human relationships, spoil the success of his entire team in sport, he can subject the destructive processes due to his aggression. At the same time, if you get to know your own behavior and group dynamics better, for example, with a team flow system or other system that improve cognitive processes, you can assertively transform your reflex-like aggressions, which means that you can use the same strength and motivation to solve the problem adequately. In short, the conscious person engages in constructive, the unconscious man is in chaotic and often destructive processes. Awareness-raising technologies have the best impact on human development. So let's move on to awareness and perception. So what is perception? And what is the relationship between perception and awareness? Perception, the sensory experience of the world. It involves both recognizing environmental stimuli and actions in response to these stimuli. A person senses thousands of stimuli a day, not just from the outside world, but from themselves too. And most of these perceptions go unnoticed, or don't even remember it at all. These perceptions are full of information that might help us understand something about ourselves or about the world. But we discard these unconsciously. This is where awareness comes in, because the information is there, you just need to take it. As our awareness grows, we are able to select consciously what information we need and what should we discard. With these informations, we are able to make better decisions and understand our functioning on a larger scale. In order to maximize the information we gather from perception, being conscious is essential. Perception and awareness complement each other. The combination of these two helps a person to see the world through a different perspective. This can change how a person thinks about the world and themselves, ultimately changing a person's mindset and even behavioral culture. So, what is behavioral culture? As a child, you learn and imitate behaviors by watching and listening to others. This is sometimes called observational learning, when children can learn things simply by observing others. The models do not have to be people that the child directly interacts with. Children learn from models all around them, on television, in the grocery store, at school, and at home. You have likely witnessed some observational learning with your child, or even in your interactions with other children. Maybe your child comes home from school casting imaginary webs like Spider-Man, even though they have never had any introduction at home of the character. Or perhaps they show off a new, not so child-friendly vocabulary word after a family reunion. Wherever they are, whomever they are around, children are observing and learning. Watching specific behavior does not necessarily mean a child will perform the behavior themselves. What model behaviors children will imitate depends partly on what sort of reinforcement those behaviors receive. People are more likely to imitate a behavior if they get some sort of positive reinforcement for it. For example, if a child overhears another child swearing, he might learn a new word, but may not necessarily use them. If, however, the child gets some sort of reward for swearing, such as acceptance or encouragement from an adult, or an observing child might be more likely to copy this behavior. Don't forget that laughter can be an unintended positive reinforcement too. Or later on in high school, they might pick up smoking because the cool kids do it and they want to be cool as well. Or not picking up the litter after camping in the forest because that is what they saw from relatives. But our behavior is not coded in our genes. We learn them through observing others. That's why we can unlearn old ones and learn new ones. A research done by the University of Michigan shows that self-awareness is a key changing in behavior. They encouraged self-awareness in people who wanted to quit smoking. The result was unbelievable. This group of people not just quit smoking, they also avoided the situations that prompted them to smoke. That's the reason why the team flow system is the perfect tool to develop self-awareness, because you can see your progress in real time, and you see what is helping you to achieve your goal and what isn't. So let me talk about the team flow system itself. The idea to create the system came from a single Hungarian phrase, egy hullámhosszon vagyunk. Or in English, we are on the same wavelength. Every major language has a phrase like that because people experience this phenomenon and they made an expression out of it. To be on the same wavelength means that your sync with somebody is so great that you can understand each other using half words or even a single look. We are fascinated by this phenomenon and wanted to create a way where we can measure it, understand it, and develop it. The team flow system is a product of our enthusiasm. After 12 years of development and 50,000 measurements later, we have a training system that develops its users with biofeedback gamification-based solutions, and can proudly say that we are the only system in the world that allows 8 players to train together. Team flow is approved by Olympic athletes, well-established psychologists, university professors, and HR specialists. The data we use comes from measuring brain waves, which are generated by synchronized electrical impulses of neurons communicating with each other. With the help of an EEG, an electroencephalograph, we are able to measure the electrical signals from the brain. These signals are processed by the software, giving real-time a reflection of brain activity, which we call biofeedback, as I said earlier. These waves are divided into several frequency ranges, which are measured in hertz. Each domain has its own name, such as alpha, beta, delta, gamma, and theta. I'm going to go through them quickly. We identify beta waves as our active mind, our normal, everyday waking state of consciousness. In beta, we are focused on the outside world. It is often associated with feelings of tension and stress. Beta is an indicator of responsive mind and active attention. Alpha waves are characterized by physical and mental relaxation. They are present during daydreaming or when you are looking inward. The alpha brainwave state forms a bridge between the conscious and the unconscious. This is why physical relaxation is an important prerequisite for any mental technique. Theta waves are associated with drowsiness, early sleep stages, fantasy, visualization, imagination, and meditation, and trance-like states. Theta is an area of creative insight and intuition. We have access to many memories, perceptions, and emotion in this state of consciousness. Delta waves are encountered primarily during deep dreamless sleep. The delta is the realm of the deep unconscious mind. In this realm, the role of conscious attention is very small, and the body is preoccupied with restoration. Gamma waves are in the white hertz range. In its lower range, gamma is associated with beta brain waves. Its higher range is characterized by concentrated attention, concentration, enhanced perception, and information processing and memory activation. We created over 30 exercises based around these waves. Using the training programs, the users can learn how to consciously change between these waves, thus developing self-awareness. In the individual training programs, we differentiate 4 categories, each specialized on different areas such as focus booster, decision improvement, stress reduction, recreation, and regeneration. In group training, we have 2 categories such as building and competition boost. Both individual and group training helps the development of attention skills, reaction time, tolerance, mental stability, endurance, group synchron, team unit, and adaptation. After a training session, the user can go through evaluation panel to check the results. The system provides an individual mental action profile for every user where the user can see their result as a whole, and they can go through the results of every exercise one by one and see their progression and decide what area still needs development. In group evaluation, the users can examine the quality of their synchronization during exercises. Every player can see their added value in every task and the value of their team harmony. We even have a built-in sociogram which shows the relationship between players. The system also tells you the affinity of pairs, organizing the pairs into 4 categories: excellent, good, fair, and bad pairs. The system also allows the users to rewatch the games and analyze them. Because of that, TeamFlow is a great source of information for psychologists, therapists, and coaches to understand their clients/players on a deeper level, enabling them to give more specific advice, which results in faster progression. The TeamFlow system has one more feature which makes it more user-friendly. Because if you don't want to go to a trainer, you can exercise alone. The built-in AI can help you with that. That's why I want to have an outlook on artificial intelligence. So how can AI improve the quality of life? Many live in the fear, mainly generated by action movies like Terminator, that someday artificial intelligence will suddenly come to life and turn against people. We do not agree with this, and we are happy to tell you why not. What do we actually call artificial intelligence? The purpose of an artificially created device is to be able to respond to environmental influences without constant human intervention. The goal is automatization. Its research has become a discipline that seeks to provide answers to real-life problems. How do we think about the AI? What do we really consider to be intelligence? True intelligence uses the things around it as a whole, including itself. So true intelligence would in no way limit or exclude any component of the entire system. After all, it also recognizes itself as a part of the whole system, and all the elements of the system are needed for it to function well. If artificial intelligence can ever come to life on its own, the humanity has nothing to fear, since that intelligence is intelligent. It is able to view the world as a unity, as one, which includes human as important components. Currently existing AIs are far from the point of coming to life and acting on their own. There are great researches on this subject, but no matter how it seems that the robot itself answers the question, these are still man-made algorithms and programs running in the background, which are calculating under the hood, of course, taking into account the commonly asked questions and assigning prepared answers to them. Artificial intelligence is a system based on complex calculations and helps people to work in many different areas of life. How do we use artificial intelligence? How does it help in mental training? Inoria Limited functionally applies this intelligence in its complex calculation methods. Based on the complex results of mental trainings performed the AI built in, the team flow system, which we call Robot Coach, provides additional personalized training suggestions to participants. Respectively, it forms the basis of special gamification tasks to support personalized mental development. Our AI makes it easier and simpler for users, coaches, managers, psychologists to use the team flow system, help their work, and help mental development. I'm at the end of my presentation, but I like to say one more thing. I truly believe that we can only live in harmony with nature if we live in harmony with ourselves. I want to thank you for your attention. If you want to learn more about the system, you can ask me now, or come to our stand in the Innovation Showroom, where you can try out the TeamFlow system.